Hey guys, it's Nathan Blewett, aka the Pale Orc on Discord. I'm just going to go over some stuff that I stumbled onto a while ago, but I'm finally actually getting around to it. And that's making homemade flock using kitty litter. So we're going to talk about what you need, the process, and then see the end result. So let's check it out. Super quick on the ingredients here. Don't mind the shaky cam. It's basically being recorded on my phone. We're going to take the pine wood cat litter and we're going to turn it into sawdust. I've taken some trays here already, so this wasn't actually that much of the cat litter. I ended up making a little bit too much just with what was left in the bottom of the bag. But basically what you're doing is taking this stuff, you're adding water to it until it dissolves into the sawdust that it is, and then what you're going to want to do is take the wet sawdust and put it in your oven for about 30 minutes or so, or depends on how clumped up you've got it. If you've got less on a tray, it's going to dry faster. And then you just want it dry. You don't want to like cook the shit out of it and burn it, so you only want it at about 100 degrees or very, very low and slow, just drying it out. Once it's dry to this point, then we're going to take our paint, which is just generic acrylic paints. I've got a green, a brown, and an orange. I'm not even sure if I'm going to use that. Just to get some earthy tones through it. Containers for storing it in once we're finished, and a super generic coffee grinder. Just a little shit thing. Costs about $15 from Kmart or whatever your equivalent store is. Walmart, all those kind of things. Yeah. So let's get into it. So after you've taken your cat litter, you've watered it down, you've broken it down into the actual sawdust, and then you dry it out in the baking trays. You end up with, I actually ended up with a lot more than I needed. And just remember that this wasn't like the full bag or anything. This was a very small amount that was left in the bottom of it. So I actually have probably twice as much, so this again in quantity, sitting on other baking trays as it is now. So I've got way more than I needed, and it was probably like the bottom couple of 100 grams worth of the stuff in the bottom of the bag. So it breaks down and makes an absolute shitload of the stuff. So you can see it's not super fine at the moment, but it is about to go through a blender, or the coffee grinder. So it should break down a little bit more. As it is, if running that through a sieve, you're still going to get super fine stuff and then more coarse stuff. You're just going to take your paint and add it in super small amounts to this stuff as it's going into here. So you're just going to take this, you open it up, you're going to pour some finer stuff, take your container, pour in a bit, just going to pop this in here. So I've got somewhere to stick the coloured stuff once it's done. And then we're going to take the paint and just add a little bit. Doesn't need to be a lot to get the colour in there. That should get some colour in. Probably add a little more. And mix it with the brown just to get some more earthy tones into it. Close that up. I'm going to take the lid. You can pop it on there. And lift it up. Give it a good shake. You can see we haven't overfilled it, it's mixing up properly. And this is a fairly dark green. You can always add white to it, add whatever colours you want to it. And that's looking pretty good. So I'm going to pour that into here. And then to clean this out, you're just going to brush it out, wash it out, do whatever you want. Make sure you do clean these out as you're doing it. You don't want to gum it up, and it's only a $15 thing, but you'll get a whole lot more use out of it if you look after it properly. But that's the flock. And that's just one go through it, very short time. That hasn't been run through a sieve or anything. And if you want to mix it up, you can let's just grab this, grab some more. This time I'm going to add a little bit of the brown, or a lot of the brown. Some of the orange. Again, just going for some earthy tones, almost rusty kind of. Let's just blitz that up the way it is. Turn it on, close it, turn it on. Again, doesn't take a lot. And we can see that's got a really earth tone to it. And I'm just going to mix those together. Take that. Put a lid on it. Give it a shake. And then we've got some multi-toned, very earthy looking flock. Again, run that through a sieve. You'll get the super fine stuff and the more coarse stuff. But yeah, make sure you clean your stuff after you finish, and it's that easy, guys. So that's a really cheap and easy way to make homemade flock. I'm gonna work on doing some clump foliage with foam, which uses a very similar concept, but you can also do a very similar flocking technique and using foam instead, and I can explain how to do that one if you guys want to see that video too. But yeah, let me know in the comments what you guys think.